Hi guys, welcome to Total Coffee. So welcome to the.
I forgot.
So what is this? We had decided last two episodes you took over. Now it's my
I'm sorry.
turn.
I'm super emotional that this is the last episode, so I couldn't come. I can't keep myself composed. I'm so sorry. Anish, over to you. Go ahead.
Yes. So welcome to the 10th and the last episode of how to start a coffee roasting business. So we've learned a lot together from sourcing green coffee, roasting it, how to roast it, how to package it, and in the last episode we talk about where to sell it, right?
Correct.
Now the question comes how to keep it lit. Basically, how to decide your USP, unique selling proposition, right?
Right.
So basically, like how to stand out of the crowd.
Correct.
Yeah.
So which is the most important, right? Now
Definitely.
everything is about putting yourself out there, showcasing yourself. How are you unique, etc.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of pointers on how to keep yourself lit and have that unique selling proposition which will blow away minds of your consumers. So let's start. We spoke about this already in one of the previous episodes,
Yeah.
which is packaging. So I
Yeah.
can't emphasize enough because packaging is something that will push the consumer to buy your product when kept against so many others. Right? It could be in a retail environment, or it could be also on Amazon or on any marketplace. Where you're being compared to other brands. So packaging is quite crucial. Coming up with an innovative packaging, it could be a jute bag, it could be bottled, so many other things.
Yeah.
So we'll leave a link in the description below where you can go back to our previous episode where we spoke about packaging.
Or it
and
will
that
be
happened.
there.
Yeah, it would be somewhere over here, I don't know, or in the description. I'll leave that to Anish, right? So you click on that link wherever it appears and then go back and check that out. So have a unique packaging and make it stand out. The next pointer that I would want to give is the story, right? It could be a story about the green beans itself, about the coffee, how was it grown, where was it grown, how was it processed, so many other aspects. Better the story, better it appeals to the consumer, right? And also story about yourself as a roaster, how you got into the business, what are your qualifications. You could be like a heart surgeon who's gotten into coffee roasting, right? That's a story by itself.
Yeah. If I become a roaster, I will put there I'm an architecture dropout.
Yes, I could be a college dropout, and then coffee made me drop out of
Yes.
college, and then got into this. He's doing well for himself, so that's okay.
Thank
Some sort of story like this will create image in terms of your coffee, your product
Yeah.
in the consumer's mind. So that becomes quite crucial. So what else you think, Anish, could be a USP?
Talking about story,
Uh-huh.
another thing that you mentioned, like green beans,
Uh-huh.
I could also communicate the story of where and how my green beans are coming to my roastery,
Yeah.
right? So it could be coming from some exotic places like Northeast or maybe Odisha or Araku Valley or somewhere in Kerala which is unexplored. So that could be a unique point.
Yeah.
Like I have coffee sourced from this particular place,
Right.
which you don't even know about.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's one thing. Another thing is if your coffee has some certification, if the estate has some certification or award like national award, international award, certifications like Rainforest Alliance, there's organic certification, bird friendly certification, etc.
Yeah.
So if I am communicating that with the consumers,
Yeah.
it definitely makes a unique selling
Unique.
proposition, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's brilliant. I mean, it would make it stand out in comparison to the other coffees, right?
Of course. You must have seen roasters saying this coffee is organic and biodynamic.
Correct.
But of course, if they're saying this, it has to be that.
Yeah.
So if you want that type of coffee, you need to ethically source it from such estates.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Brilliant. So those are quite important. I am also even seeing some of the roasters procuring coffee from out of the country, right?
Yeah.
Different origins like Ethiopia, Colombia. I've seen a roaster sell Sri Lankan origin coffee
Oh, wow.
recently.
Okay.
So that makes it exotic.
Yeah.
So that's those two are brilliant points. And
Yeah.
and one other thing I see developing now that more equipments, more roasting equipments are coming into the market is roasting method. The roasters saying that how have they roasted that coffee. I've seen a roaster marketing his coffee saying wood fire roasted coffee,
Yeah.
right? This is how traditionally it was done way back. I've seen this in Coorg, in Chikmagalur even today, where the roasters use wood-fired roasters to roast coffee. So I've seen roaster marketing it that way. I've seen roasters who also marketing their coffee saying it is hot air roasted or fluid bed roasted coffee, because we understand that different roasting methods give out different profiles
Definitely.
from the same coffee.
Definitely.
Right?
I've
So-
seen a roaster saying the coffee is hand roasted.
Yeah, correct. So something like that, hand roasted,
Yeah.
is also
But-
becoming popular.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But of course, when it comes to like running a business, it's a bigger roaster than this.
Correct.
But it is hand roasted.
Hand
so
roasted.
even I would get intrigued
Yeah,
about
so-
trying that coffee.
Correct. So for getting the attention of the consumer, that can really work. So if you all have some unique way of roasting, you should mention that on the bag. You should market that aspect of it. And
Yeah.
then next thing is processing method. Right. I've been working with a lot of planters through Specialty Coffee Academy. We do a lot of training programs for the coffee planters. So I'm seeing more and more coffee plantations are starting to look like beer breweries. Right, with these
Yeah.
huge tanks, with fermentation tanks, with huge pipes moving from one tank to another, so many things like this. There are wacky processes that are coming into play: rum barrel, whiskey barrel, wine barrel, fresh fruit fermentation,
Yeah.
underwater fermentation,
Carbonic maceration.
carbonic maceration.
Yeah.
So many fancy processing methods. So that is something that you can sell as well as a unique proposition. Getting a coffee that has a unique processing method, which not many roasters around the country have. So that's one way. And the next point could be is roast profiles. So most of the specialty coffee roasters are sticking to medium roasts at the moment, but there are some roasters who are going dark. I don't have a lot of specialty coffee roasters doing dark roasts. I can't name too many, but there are a few. And at the same time, I don't see a lot of specialty coffee roasters roasting really light as well, like the Norwegian roast profiles sort of a deal. So that could be a unique selling proposition as well. So you putting out coffees that are very light roasted or either very dark roasted. Not many specialty roasters are doing that.
Yeah.
And then what else?
Yeah.
I can't think of
Another-
any. Can you think of any, Anish?
Yeah,
Is there any
there's
other points?
one more thing, the varietal of the coffee.
Oh, yeah,
Right,
that's quite
variety
important.
or the species. Like you must have seen a lot of roasters talking about 100% Arabica, 100% Arabica, but even 100% Robusta is a thing.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Yeah.
So, and also there are different types in Arabica and Robusta. So there is this uncommon varietal called as the yellow Katuai. So very few roasters are doing yellow Katuai.
Yeah.
And there's one more varietal Suhas was telling me about,
Yeah.
which was
San Ramon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I heard it for the first time, and like I related with the machine San Remo, but it's a but it's a varietal.
It's a coffee varietal. Yeah.
Yeah. So San Ramon.
Yeah, and also geishas, right?
Yeah.
Geishas are becoming popular. Some of the planters in India have brought in geishas from out of the country, and they've been growing geishas. So some plantations do have geishas. And
Correct.
one other species which got popular in the last year or year before is Liberica.
Liberica.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
some roasters are roasting 100% Liberica and then serving them. Most of the plantations are now separately processing their Libericas as well, right?
Yeah.
So
And also, this thing is getting pretty popular. The wild and semi-wild coffee.
correct,
Right.
absolutely.
So helping the tribals grow better coffee.
Correct.
So that becomes a very good USP for sure.
Correct. So coffee grown in the forest where there is no formal agriculture methods implemented, no formal harvesting methods implemented. Just the coffee just grows in the wild forest. So that's
Yeah.
quite unique as well. But Anish, I would say yes, these are all USPs.
Yeah.
But it is no guarantee that if you have these USPs, the coffee will sell. Reason is because most important thing is to try to evaluate the market that you are in or your target market and then decide on the USPs. Let's say my target market is rural India or tier 2 cities where really certifications don't really matter, right? They wouldn't value certifications as much. So the same way, if I'm targeting a very well-educated tier 1 city where there are the coffee consumers know a lot about the coffee, then all of these intricacies do matter.
Right.
So evaluate your target market and then decide which USP would you be most interested in exploring, and then use that USP to blow up your marketing, to blow up your brand.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, like what I know in the coffee industry in India, like the South India drinks more of a dark roast, and
Correct.
North India is more into light roast.
Yeah.
So if I am a roaster in North India serving light coffee, and I suddenly come up with a dark roast, it might work very well in North India. But if I get the same coffee to South India and tell them, oh, it's a dark roast, they'll be like, we've been drinking dark roast for ages.
Yeah. What's new about
What's
this?
new about this?
Yeah.
So we definitely need to know what our market is drinking and what can be unique for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. So guys, here you have it, the USP. This was our last and the 10th episode where we spoke about how can you keep your coffee lit, right?
Just a second, correction.
What? Yeah.
Last episode of the series.
Yeah, last episode of the series, not
Not
our
the
lifetime,
channel.
not the channel. We'll keep doing a lot of videos going forward. So please let us know in the comments below what are all the things that you would want to know from us, learn from us.
Yes.
We'll be more than happy to address all of those questions and then try to make content that you like. And that will help you start your coffee business or run your coffee business or take your coffee business to the next level.
And the next level.
And then, of course, right? Do check us out. And if this series has helped you, this episode has helped you, click on the subscribe button. A subscription would be greatly appreciated. And do click on that bell icon so that you keep track of all of the new series that we come up with. And Anish, it's been an amazing 10 episodes. It's been an emotional 10 episodes. So guys, we'll see you all very, very soon. We'll also leave our email address in the description below where you can write to us and ask all of your questions, if not for in the comments. So until the next series, take care guys, happy brewing and cheers.
Cheers.